Okay, what is up, YouTube? My name is Kim King, and this is Three Questions Podcast, episode number 20. I want to thank everybody who has been listening to this podcast. We just hit over 200 downloads. As you know, I am recording this in my bedroom, in my house in North Carolina, and I'm very grateful for everyone that submitted all of these questions. There's a lot of really personal stuff. A lot of vulnerability comes into this as well. And I know these questions can be cumbersome. Sometimes they're submitted anonymously, like today. These ones are anonymous, so I don't want to out the person that submitted these. But oftentimes I will look into a little bit of research and I'll try and share my best perspective. Okay. I do have guests being lined up to come on to this podcast, and they will be coming as I can sort of schedule them once I know my schedule is more concrete. As you know, I run CK Collective on the side, marketing strategy consultancy. If you're looking to get better in your business and or personal life, I would highly encourage you to go on and book sessions. I just changed it back so that you can go online, book sessions. Let me know when you want to meet. You get an invoice, you can pay as you go. Okay, partial payments are super productive for people that really want to move and groove and move forward in life. I am a little spotty today because I am halfway through my 36-hour fast. Typically around hour 18 to 24, I get a little brain foggy. After that is sort of when I clear up. So I may only do this podcast. Please bear with me. I guarantee these are great questions as well. I also want to thank the sponsor for the first 50 podcasts that I have here. And that sponsor is Ads Sciences. My friend Howie Hecht in Boston, he's been working with Ad Sciences as a partner and a principal, and they are legitimately the best company I've ever come across in terms of running Instagram campaigns, LinkedIn campaigns, and targeting micro audiences. Okay, I cannot speak highly of them enough. I've referred them countless customers throughout my time, and every single business I've sent their way, I've seen that business grow, adapt, evolve. Whether it's a sort of personal branding line or an established company, they've always done really, really well. And I've never seen anyone come close to doing what they can do for their clients. So Ads Sciences, you can reach Howie Hecht. Okay, you can reach him at howie@appanite.com. That is APPANITE.com. Or you can go to adssciences.com and reach out to them there. So go check them out. Definitely set up some time if you were looking to grow your business with Howie. Okay. Now, I want to get into the first question here and make this a rather short podcast. So episode 20, here we go. Question number 1, if I only had 1 hour in the evening and 1 hour at night truly for myself, what should I prioritize between physical exercise, spiritual, emotional, mental, intellectual growth needs? So basis of the question, if you only have 1 hour at night, which do you prioritize? Okay. As so many of my clients and my audience knows from YouTube, from social media, and now here on the podcast, I truly believe that there are 6 pillars of your life. Okay. And the 6 pillars of your life are mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, and academic. All 6 of those areas are areas that if you focus on or do not focus on, right, whether you ignore them or you focus on them, they will grow or diminish. Okay. Sometimes when we're not reading enough books, we feel like we're not getting the information that we're not bringing enough new tools to the table. Sometimes if we're not being spiritual enough, which means we're not meditating, or if we're not focusing on our health, the food that we're putting into our body, or we're not focusing on our finances and really shoring up our budgets and what we're spending and what's coming in versus going out of the household. These are things that really, really impact your life. Okay. What that means is you should take all 6 of these pillars, right? I'm going to say them again: mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, and academic. I want you to write 0 to 10. Okay. And I want you to grade yourself in each of these 6 areas. And whatever area that you seem to be lacking in, I want you to focus on that area at night. Okay. If you spend the last hour of your day focusing on that thing, not coming at it from a place of lack. Oh my God, I'm lacking in finances, I need to freak out for the last hour before I go to sleep. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you spend 1 hour to say, okay, here's something I'd like to focus on and primarily tackle tomorrow, but I would like to identify, become aware of it, sit with it, feel it. If you can spend that last hour or a hour of your evening/night focusing on something that you want to tackle tomorrow, I guarantee that 8 hours, that 6 to 8 hours that you plan on sleeping, your brain, your mind, your subconscious being We'll focus on ways to creatively solve that problem if you allow it. Okay. You don't have to solve everything in that hour the night before. But if you're too stressed out, okay, maybe your emotions could really, really benefit from taking an Epsom salt bath or taking a bubble bath, right? Or going for a walk or sitting down with your partner and having a glass of wine. That can be an emotional fix. So whatever you feel like you really need, it's not just one thing. It's always a culmination of different things that you can focus on and should focus on. And it shouldn't always be the same thing each and every single night, right? I just gave you 6 pillars. You could spend 6 out of 7 nights a week focusing on each one of those, going, hey, where am I physically? Where am I mentally? Where am I emotionally? Where am I academically? Where am I financially? Where am I spiritually? And if you focus on improving that week in and week out, maybe the last one you spend is a date night, or you just take that night off. If you spend an hour focusing on ways to improve that, or acknowledging maybe some of the gaps that you do have, you're going to feel better about not necessarily bringing that problem into your day, but definitely about being able to tackle and fix that problem in the future. I hope that kind of answers the question. A lot of people mindlessly scroll through Instagram, or they watch Netflix, or they spend time running away or distracting themselves in the last hours of the day, as opposed to mentally preparing themselves for how to be at their best the next day. I've talked to this at length about being reactive versus being proactive. And when you wake up in the day, and first thing in the day, and you check your phone and you check all your damn notifications, you're immediately set into this reactive mode, which puts you on your heel for that sort of day. You're not really running into that day, taking charge of what needs to be done, okay, of what you really want to do. When you wake up and you spend time for yourself, you tend to be more proactive. And I would like to see more people become more proactive at the end of their day as well. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to ramble on too much about that, okay? Moving on to, I'm gonna reset my watch. Question number 2. Here we go. What are some ways I can turn a day around when I feel like it's not going my way? Okay, the person that submitted this question, I completely understand. It's something, this person is one of my clients, and we've talked at length about a number of these things. I feel like this all the time. Okay, when you feel like you are getting the shit kicked out of you of your day, and you feel like things are just not working out well. Sometimes, I've woken up, I've stubbed my toe, the shower doesn't work, I've ripped off the handle, one morning I woke up, the stove wasn't working. All of these things seemingly happen right in the morning. And it's very, very easy to get dragged down this ice luge of negativity and being like, well, fuck this isn't going away. It's raining and I have too much shit to do and I'm late to work and blah, 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 and I need gas. And I've been there. We've all been there. That is part of the human experience. That is what you have bought into in this lifetime. And I need you to understand that when things are going in a negative direction, or a direction that you don't want to, okay, you slamming your foot on the gas when that day is going that way causes friction. Okay, we all think that we can just stop it if we just go, hey, fuck this, right? I'm done, whatever. We think freaking out, we get emotional, we lose touch of our emotions, our feelings. When we create that friction in that day, when that day is spiraling out of control, like an 18-wheeler going up and down the mountains of Colorado in the winter, when your life, your track, your car, your vehicle, your medium, whatever you are doing, your day is going off the radar, I need you to imagine this scene from Fight Club. There's an amazing scene where both Brad Pitt and Ed Norton, they're in the car. And obviously in that movie, spoiler alert, they're the same person, but they're talking to each other. And Brad Pitt convinces Edward Norton to let go of the steering wheel. There's some guys in the back of the car too, but Edward Norton just lets go of the steering wheel. The car goes right off the highway, right? Crashes into something else. And I don't know if they die, but they all get a little bloodied up. And it was a very surreal moment about just letting go. Okay. And when you are experiencing a difficult day and things are not going your way, I'm telling you that when you freak out and you start to create that friction, that will make it worse. I guarantee you. Okay. You slamming your foot down, you trying to create friction, you trying to stop things or control things or force things or freaking out or losing emotional control of yourself. That is causing excess friction in your life, in that experience, in that day, in that moment, with that person, in that place, with that thing. Okay, the best thing to do, and also the hardest thing to do, is to take a breath and let go, right? let go. You need to feel that tough day all in its entirety. You need to sit there, you need to experience it, you need to be like, wow, this is wrapping me up pretty good. And I will tell you right now, I have been in your shoes, and I've called my dad before. I've been like, Dad, I'm having a tough day. I am completely at my emotional, I'm done. I was like, I've taken all I can and my nervous system has taken too much. Okay, this happened to me the other day too. I was like, wow, my nervous system is completely maxed out. I now have that awareness, and when that does, I do nothing. I do nothing. I stop fighting. I let go. I completely stop resisting and go, okay, it's one of those days. I'm having a very, very human day. Okay. And I have to constantly remind myself that, yes, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. There are going to be tough days. Some of those tough days, I go, okay, now I'm just going to mail it in. I'm going to, watch a movie, or I'm going to go to bed early, or I'm just going to shut it down, because if I can get sleep and I can time travel to the next day, to the next morning, I can hopefully reset my stress levels, reset my cortisol levels. The only way you reset your stress levels and cortisol levels is actually through sleep, which is part of the reason why it's so important. But when you have a tough day, you creating more friction in that tough day will make that day tougher. Stop, let it go, feel it 100%, shut it down as early as you can. Say, I am going to bed. Today, I am done with. Sucks to sort of feel like you wasted a day that way, but I'm telling you, that is the best way to do it. Figure out how to go to sleep, time travel to the next day, tackle those problems when you have more energy, or hopefully you're in a better mood and your cortisol levels have dropped, because when you are a new person, those problems will appear a very different way. Okay. 4 minutes and 30 seconds for that question. That's all I've got. My last question that I have for this. Okay. Question number 3 on episode 20. While it is not easy, are there any clear-cut signs that you need to cut bait or walk away from something? Okay. So are there any clear-cut signs that you need to walk away from something, i.e. a job, business, relationship, platonic friendship, business, romantic, or other situation? This is highly personalized, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this one. This has no scientific bearing, but whenever I feel like someone is not meeting me halfway, that is my sign. For me, when I feel like someone is not able to meet me halfway, or even a partial way, I do that. I have gotten much better as I've gotten older in order to be able to see these signs. In my teenage years, in my 20s, I was very much blind to these things. Okay. I think women have a much better radar on when things are going not good, and they know when to walk away from certain situations. Women are highly attuned. Us men have a lot of work to do in this capacity. And I will say that, me being Irish and Italian, also from Boston, I will grind myself down into dust, right? I will ride that plane from 37,000 feet all the way to the bottom of the ocean just to sort of prove a point. And in the past, I've been very, very sort of spiteful, I guess, or had a lot of angst that I just wanted to prove people wrong. So I would never, ever see these sort of clear-cut signs. But some of the clear-cut signs that people really, really need to realize aren't always, you just being disrespected. We live in an age where we have options to do anything. I can get 1 hour delivered. I can get food delivered to my house. I can get furniture delivered to my house. I can get a car delivered to my house. I can get a wife delivered to my house if I wanted to. And I think when we live in an age where we have so many of these options, it can be very, very easy to walk away, say, oh, I'm not being treated right. Right. Oh, I'm not a priority for this person. Oh, I'm not this. I'm not that. And when we experience these things, it makes us feel very validated in walking away. And I think sometimes it's actually very difficult to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not being treated right here, but I'm also not communicating that, hey, my needs aren't being met in this way. And I think that's the other side of the coin that people fail to ask and realize, right? Yes, there are clear-cut signs if you're not being treated well, if you are being abused, if you're being verbally abused, emotionally abused, neglected in some sort of way, or not financially compensated, or somebody's not meeting you halfway or putting in as much effort. Yes, these are signs that you should consider walking away, or you absolutely should walk away if you are being physically abused, right? All of these signs of abuse are clear-cut signs that you should walk away. But that's also a very personalized thing. Okay. What does neglect look like for you? Is it because you haven't articulated your needs and your boundaries? Some of my girlfriends in the past, relationships that I've been in, they haven't articulated needs. And I've been blind to the fact that I wasn't meeting those needs, or I wasn't fulfilling those things, right? Whether that's just going out on dates, or just being there, or being present in a relationship when you're on like a hike. These are things where I allowed myself to get lost in, right? And all of a sudden I was the person who was foisting some sort of neglect on another person. And it sucks to be that way, okay? And I think when you do that to another person on purpose or by accident, and in my case, it was definitely by accident, I learned that, holy cow, that's a clear-cut sign, and that's why that person walked away. We do that through a lot of analysis of our own life because we're such imperfect creatures. We don't get it right the first time. It takes us a lot of time to sort of learn these life lessons as we sort of move forward. And any sort of clear-cut signs need this comes directly from your boundaries, your protocols, your non-negotiables. These are things that I talk with my clients in sessions all the time about. And the person that asked this, I know you have this list, so I'm surprised you asked this question, okay? You have to figure out where your boundaries are. You have to figure out where you are willing to walk away. You have to figure out what you deserve and what you want, and you have got to be able to communicate that effectively to everyone in your personal life, in your relationships, whether that's platonic or personal or whatever, okay? And the longer that you can sort of meditate on these things, the better that you can write these things down, the more you can articulate them and know them and look at them and sort of emblazon them into the back of your mind. The more that you can do that, the more and easier it's going to be to see those clear-cut signs of being like, hey, this isn't working out for me. I need to stop investing my time, energy, attention into this and walk away. Okay. That is all I have. That is the last question for episode number 20. This is 3 Questions Podcast. Guys, I can't thank you enough for continuing to listen. I am running out of questions. I have 3 more. I can do episode 21 and then I'm out of questions. So I need you guys to submit questions. As you know, if you would like to book personal sessions, you can go on ckcollective.co. You can go to the book tab and you can purchase more sessions or contact me and we'll find a way to do that. You will get an invoice you can pay as you go, starting at $60 a session. Or if you have a business, product, service company, and you want to work with me as a chief marketing officer, I will consult your business. I will teach you how to grow that business. I will introduce you to the right people, the right investors, and I will make sure that you succeed, guaranteed. Okay. That is a one-time fee. You can find that under CMO for Hire on my website. And if you guys need anything else, you know how to reach me, info@ckcollective.co. This podcast, little excerpts are now going on Instagram as well. That is @_3 Questions Podcast. So go find that. Let me know what you think. And please continue to submit questions. You can find this on the website as well, or send it to 3questionspodcast@gmail.com. I appreciate you guys for listening as always, and I will see you in the next one.